Yeah, no, I'm just about to go pick up the new mask right now. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's probably gonna help, but I still feel like okay. So like, we have our band, right? Our Slipknot Christmas fusion cover band, and the name's awesome. Holiday Sleighs. I mean, that's great, but I just feel like it's missing something. I don't know, just like a certain element of whoa. Hey, dude, I think I might have found it. No, no. So there's a guy playing a flute here with his girlfriend. No, I mean she's just standing around asking for money. Well, that would be great. Hang on, no, I'm gonna go try to get them before someone else does. Hold on a second. Hi, how's it going? I couldn't help but notice you play the flute there, and it's pretty badass. I can't help but I gotta ask. I have a band, okay? We're Slipknot Christmas Fusion cover band. We need something extra right now. Like we just need something, and I think you're it. Like no, no, like the both of you. I think it's great. You could play the flute. You just ask for money or hold your hat out. Like it totally works. Is there any way you would want to join us? All we have is $50 though. That's all I can afford to pay you.
It's a quick 50.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Seriously? Oh God, that makes me so happy. Just give me 1 second. I got another band member. I'll just tell him real quick, and I'll be right back. Dude, yeah, we got him. Yeah, no, $50. I know, it's a Christmas miracle. Wiki wiki whack a whack a whack a wiki wiki. What is going on, guys? How are we doing today? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever, Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa, I don't know what it says. So, I know it's been a minute since we last talked, so how's everything going? And I know you're probably wondering why I haven't posted in a while, and I do know the mature thing to do would be to let you know what's been going on. So, today we're going to take a look at Don't Open Till Christmas. It was going to be Shrieker, but working on that review actually made me, physically angry, so we're going to do this one instead. Don't worry though, we'll get to that shit show some other time. Probably. Alright, well, for today's movie, I have to put a warning out there. While looking at this, you're going to hear some very strange and kind of alien-like words and phrases being used, like...
Cheerio.
Cheeky young bugger.
Oh, blimey.
Now, don't worry, these people are not having strokes. They're just English. I didn't want anyone to be unnecessarily worried. So today, like I said, we're going to be taking a look at Don't Open Till Christmas, which, as I mentioned earlier, comes to us from jolly old England, where it came out on December 19th, 1984. But it only took 2 days longer to hit the States. It runs for 86 minutes, and it is about a Grinch, if you will, that is going around killing Santas in London. It stars Edmund Purdom as Inspector Harris. He's known for Pieces and Herod the Great. Then we have Alan Lake as Giles. He was in Yesterday's Hero. Playing Kate is Belinda Main. She was also in Krull. Also, how great is that cover art? I personally love it. Well, if you're feeling jolly, let's get into the movie that is Don't Open Till Christmas.
Only 3 more killing days to Christmas.
We start off seeing this couple meet up while being creeped on, and straight to the backseat they go, with really good music. They didn't call them shakin' wagons for nothing. They see the guy, but the lady must really like to give a show.
Get away! Go on, clear off!
Oh, forget about him.
Well, it doesn't end up going so good for them.
Ho, ho, ho.
But it does lead to a cool and creepy credit scene. I really, really dig it. Also, I do like how they started off the movie just getting right down to business, right into it. I can appreciate that. And are you ready to hit up the weirdest disco you've ever been to? So, if I have any viewers out there from England, is this what all of your clubs are like? I mean, because unless I hear otherwise, I'm just gonna assume that they're all like this. Fucking weird. Okay, so I guess it's a Christmas party, and apparently you dress wacky for Christmas over there? Again, I'll just assume unless I hear different. And as Santa is getting ready, we meet his daughter, Kate, and her boyfriend, Cliff. Cliff. Played by Jerry Sundquist. While handing out presents, we see someone lurking through the crowd until...
Ho, ho, ho.
Whoa, okay, that's pretty intense. And what's crazy to me is that nobody screams. I mean, Santa just got like speared through the head, and it's a silent night in there. Yeah, that was pretty good. Next, we meet Detective Powell, played by Mark Jones, when Inspector Harris comes in, and we find out...
Only 3 more killing days to Christmas.
They go over the details of the couple. Her dead Santa dad was...
Oh, rich.
And Cliff is...
Cheeky young bugger.
And I believe that means he's very skilled with a crossbow, but again, I don't speak British. The cops talk to the couple, and while it's pretty unnecessary, we do find out...
I'm afraid we don't have very many clues, miss. There were no fingerprints on it.
Cut to the Santa roasting chestnuts. Very Christmassy, you know? When this happens. Okay, so notice a little piece of skin hanging out there? I mean, that's a really good detail. And man, you know, for a British film, I'm really surprised by just how much holy shit! That really jumped up there. Oh, kudos to them. That was a whole nother level I was not expecting.
Ho, ho, ho.
We then see this messenger deliver this present to the inspector, but he can't open it yet because...
And it says, don't open till Christmas.
Moving on to the cops talking.
Do you think, sir, we might have a psychopath on our hands?
No, you know, all sorts of non-psychopaths go around killing slews of Santas. That's some really good cop intuition you have there, Powell. But don't worry, the brass has a solution to the whole serial killer thing.
Guess what he answered?
Perhaps we can assume then that the killings will just stop.
Then we meet...
Name is Giles. Giles.
And he asks...
Tell me, Sergeant Powell, would it help your promotion prospects if you were to solve this case personally?
And again, I really dig the music. Got to the happiest Santa yet, but that gets sorted out pretty quickly.
Ho, ho, ho.
Giles goes to talk to Kate, but she isn't really up for chatting. The inspector goes for a stroll, which transitions into whatever the hell this is. Okay, so now remember when Powell said this?
Oh, rich.
So then why in the hell is she out panhandling with Cliff? I mean, there's a lot of questions surrounding this particular scene, but it does introduce Jerry, Cliff's old friend, who's a photographer now. They go for a drink, and Jerry invites them to check out his studio.
Why don't you come out tonight? There might be some change here for you. You bring the pretty blonde girl with you.
And we get a better idea of what kind of guy Cliff is.
What did that creep want?
Oh, we're invited to tea. Come on, let's go.
Cut to Jerry's studio, and I'm willing to bet he's doing some really highbrow, high art stuff. Ooh, even better. I don't hate this. A lovely couple stops by, and Cliff and the model hit it off.
Hi, Cliff. I'm Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. I'm delighted.
The model lets Kate know what Jerry was planning the whole time.
You the other girl Jerry was telling me about? What other girl? He said we're doing some doubles later.
And Cliff tries to sell it too.
He had another couple booked for tonight, but they called in and cancelled.
Then he tries to seal the deal.
He's got some wigs. You can change your appearance, nobody will ever know. It's a quick 50.
And again, what the hell? He's playing the flute on the street corner for money, and now he's trying to get her to take nudes for 50 quid? I thought her dad was...
Oh, rich.
I mean, was she cut off and is actually just incredibly poor? Either way, Jerry pulls out the outfit for the model, and it triggers Kate. Then Cliff goes on to win Boyfriend of the Year.
I'd better go after her. Sharon, on the other hand, she's ready and waiting.
So Cliff and the model head outside for more shots, and she gives him a little show. Then the Bobbies show up, which makes Cliff worried.
Here they come. They'll think we're a couple of gays.
Okay, so was it illegal to be gay in England at this time? Again, let me know. Either way, Cliff decides to cheese it, and the model copies. The peelers take off after them. But the model finds a good hiding place. Except when she goes to leave, she runs into this. And I do always think those kind of masks are creepy. This guy figures everyone else has gotten a show from her, so why not him? But then he just decides to let her go. The coppers go to talk to her, where the inspector is unnecessarily aggressive to her.
Just calm down, young lady. You should have spent the night at the station.
All we find out is that the assailant had a similar build to Powell. Oh, and we do get more of this. I like where this movie is going. Cut to a peep show where this Santa is feeling lonely, and the girl he goes to watch is cute and awkward.
It's my first time in this sort of place.
Me too.
but also pretty funny.
I'm just filling in.
For another girl?
No, for my mother.
She's definitely one of my favorite characters of the movie. But ultimately, Santa's shame catches up to him.
Ho, ho, ho.
The inspector stops by to let Cliff know that he's a suspect. Cut to Giles talking to Powell, where Giles puts some doubts into Powell's mind about the inspector.
Your Inspector Harris, does he tell you everything? You should keep a better eye on him.
We catch the Santa leaving the pub where some punks give him a hard time. Oi, oi, oi. He gets away by hiding in this really gruesome museum where he ends up finding a real dead chick before getting knifed.
Ho, ho, ho.
But the scene is kind of weird, it feels out of place. One reason I think that is because he finds a dead woman just hanging out in a museum. She obviously wasn't dressed as a Santa, so where does she come from? Is it possible that there are actually two different killers? One killing women and the other killing Santas? Well, why don't you stop talking and we'll find out, Keith? Alright guys, just calm down. We find out that the police are going to put out decoy Santas, and the inspector says this.
Powell, I think this may very well be my last case.
Before he decides to go blow off some steam at a fair. Oh man, I'm really hoping they kill this Santa in front of all these kids. I really want a Silent Night, Deadly Night situation. That would really make my day. Oh man. See, kids, dreams don't come true. Don't even bother having them. At least after the show, this decoy cop gets it, and the killer is apparently a punk James Bond. Oi, oi, oi.
Ho, ho, ho.
And do you want to see one of the worst attempts to subdue someone? So he gets it pretty bad too, and also notice how his eye slides down a little? That's a very nice, subtle touch, and it's gross as hell, but I love it.
Ho, ho, ho.
Now that's the same fair the inspector was at. Okay, you know what? I'm calling it. Inspector Harris is the killer. No doubt. We see this shit again. Seriously, what the hell? The beep chick talks to Powell about what she saw, and she says the same thing as the titty model did.
His eyes, they sort of smiled behind the mask.
He tells her,
And says, you must remember, he knows that you saw him, even with a mask, so...
and tells her she will get a cop protecting her for the time being. But she decides that she knows what's best and goes back to work, which turns out to be a really, really bad idea. The Santa killer shows up, and after he tries to get her, she runs away, and again, I love the music. Unfortunately, though, she doesn't make it too far, and again, she doesn't scream. He brings her to what appears to be a sex dungeon? She tries convincing him that she didn't see what he looked like so that she can't tell the cops, and he responds,
Now you see, it's too late. You have seen my face.
and as he's chaining her up, he says this.
You're all the same, aren't you? You sell little pieces of yourself.
Now, while it is a cool shot, what the hell does it have to do with killing Santas? This really makes me think that there are indeed two separate killers. Before he leaves her, he tells her,
I want you to think of the error of your ways.
Then you let me go.
Then I kill you.
Kate tries calling the inspector, but his housekeeper tells her,
Today's the day he visits Parklands. He goes there once a month.
and she also throws in,
Please don't mention that I said about Parklands. I don't think he'd like anyone to know about it.
Powell talks to the inspector and finds out
You're off the case.
Cliff is there for questioning, I guess, maybe, and Powell tells him there's been another killing, and also,
I'm letting you go,
How come?
because I believe I know the right man.
so it seems that he probably thinks Harris is the killer too. Got to this theater, and this drunk Santa, well, that's kind of redundant, isn't it? Anyways, this drunk Santa comes in, and I actually love this little exchange. Just the look on his face, he's just... After getting kicked out, the killer is waiting for him, so he runs back inside. They play a little game of cat and mouse while this concert is taking place in all of its 80s glory. And again, I'm not going to play the music, I don't need a music copyright claim. I get enough of that shit as is. Santa dies, and they reveal it during the show.
Ho, ho, ho.
Kate talks to Powell and tells him what she's learned about Parklands.
So it's a lunatic asylum.
And about the inspector.
There's no record of his name at Somerset House. He doesn't exist.
And even though Powell looked like he thought Harris was guilty earlier, he just blows her theory off. We see Kate go to Parklands, but nothing more, so moving on. Cut to the Santa using the loo, literally, but we see he's not alone, and god damn, I mean, he gets the worst out of everybody. You know, it's just very reminiscent of the original I Spit on Your Grave. You know, I saw that movie when I was 14, and that bathtub scene really stuck with me. Really stuck with me. But again, he doesn't scream. So my theory is that Brits are just too polite to scream out in pain, right? But I don't care how polite you are, if you just got your dick cut off, you're gonna scream. That much I know.
Ho, ho, ho.
Kate goes to Harris's place for some reason, and they have a few moments in this movie where they almost act like they're gonna have them get romantic, but it never actually happens, so it's just rather odd. They do go out for dinner though. He pays, of course. Anyways. Sorry. I can't help it. And I will say, sorry, let's try this again. And I will say that if you plan on watching this movie, you might want to stop. Son of a bitch. Okay. Compose. Whew. Alright. And I will say, if you're planning on actually watching this movie, you might want to pause it here and come back after. I mean, it kind of starts to go off the rails moving forward, and I don't want to spoil it for you. And as always, I will have a link in the description where you can watch it, so feel free. Anywho, we abruptly cut to Kate back at her place when Giles shows up, sort of looking like a magician to me. Kate tells him what she's discovered.
Harris is your brother.
And we find out Harris isn't his real name.
He changed it
when they put me into the loony bin.
And then finally Giles gives his motive.
He used to tell me about his police work, so I thought I'd give him a real case to work on.
Powell tries calling her, but she can't answer it. And that actually is a pretty good effect with the stabbing.
Ho, ho, ho.
Powell ends up finding out that Harris isn't the killer.
I thought I told you to watch Harris night and day. He's been in his apartment all night.
Giles is spotted in this storage area, and Powell goes to get him by himself. Probably gonna end pretty well. And first I was surprised that they actually killed Kate, right? Like, she was a main character. I didn't see that coming. Then I was really surprised here when they kill Powell in a fairly elaborate scene for just, you know, thinking on his heels. Thinking on his feet? Doesn't sound right. Either way, I'm not planning ahead. Thinking on his feet. Quick thinking either way.
Ho, ho, ho.
Giles returns to the sex dungeon and he reiterates his stance on Christmas.
I hate Christmas. I hate everything it stands for.
She makes a break for it and ends up running up these stairs with Giles following behind. And when they get to the top, they tussle a little bit and then Giles goes for a dive.
Ho, ho, ho.
And naturally on her way out, she stops to check to make sure that he's dead. I mean, he's gotta be, right? That was, what, at least 4 flights of stairs? Okay, are you fucking kidding me? Sure, why not? He lived through it without a scratch, alright. Well, I guess at least we got someone screaming for once, so that's something.
Ho, ho, ho.
Cut to the inspector dreaming of Christmas as a kid, and I'll say what we're all thinking here. Giles was an ugly-ass kid, very homely. Anyways, after presents, he heads upstairs, and I think this is supposed to be his dad banging this chick, but they don't actually say, so again, I'm just assuming. Either way, we get some odd cuts, and then we see his mom, again, I think she is, somehow having a fainting spell down the stairs, and dying. I don't know how, she was just standing in the doorway, but who knows? I can't tell what's going on anymore at this point.
Ho, ho, ho.
Plus, check out those hairy underarms. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all about feminism, right? Just make sure to shave those pits. I mean, otherwise, how are you going to get a man to provide for you? Unable to sleep more, he... Anyways, okay. Unable to sleep more, he decides to open that present from earlier. I mean, it has to be something gruesome, right? Ooh, what's it gonna be? Ah. Well, that's really disappointing. What the fuck? Okay, so I think it's fair to say nobody watching the movie saw that coming.
Ho, ho, ho.
You up for some fun facts? Alright. This movie was actually released after the death of Alan Lake, or Giles. This was Pat Astley's last film. She played the titty model. She didn't die, just no more acting for her. Edmund Purdom, or Inspector Harris, only agreed to do this film if he could direct it. And speaking of that, this film took almost 2 years to finish, and Edmund Purdom quit as the director. Derek Ford of various exploitation films took over, but was fired after just 2 days. Then Ray Self took over, and the writer Alan Birkinshaw had to rewrite parts of the script, including the original ending, I can't find out what that was supposed to be, and added the London dungeon scene, which makes sense because that really didn't seem to fit in. Plus, a bunch of the footage was completely refilmed. Who watching this knows when Boxing Day is? Oh yeah, no, that's right, it's Christmas Day. Ha! Gotcha! That's wrong! And here you were acting all high and mighty and smug. So very smug. Boxing Day is actually December 26th, and if you were a servant in old-timey England, you would have looked forward to it because you would have gotten a gift from your master and the day off. Well, assuming that your master wasn't Scrooge. So, should you drink the eggnog? Although this movie doesn't feel smooth, it's got some kind of rough edges, I still think it's pretty good. I mean, where else can you see this many Santas getting massacred? Also, I think the music is great. I do also think Alan Lake does a great job as Crazy Giles. The acting overall, though, isn't the best, but they do keep you guessing on who's going to live. I mean, they killed everyone. Well, except for that flute-playing freak Cliff. So yeah, I mean, it's worth checking out. And I considered not showing all the Santa's deaths, but I figured most of them are pretty great, and if you don't plan on watching this, at least you still get those. As usual, I'll have a link in the description where you can check it out for free. Also, check out my last review I did on The Mutilator. Alright, well that's it for me. I'm gonna go get drunk. Gotta go hang out with my family. Have an awesome Christmas and New Year's. Yeah, have a good one.